Hey everybody, I am here with part 2 of our really fun folio using the February subscription kit. But if you follow along, you don't have to use anything in particular. You can use what you have. And this will just give you kind of the measurements and the things that you can do for it. But if you're interested, I will link below to the kit so that you can have the same exact if you want it. So today I just wanted to do a pretty thorough tutorial on sewing in a signature into this type of a junk journal. This is made with cardstock, and this part here has 2 layers because of the way that things overlapped. So it's pretty solid, and this is going to act right here that I can show you. This will act as the spine for this signature that we're putting in. Now, this is only a 4-page, so if you double it up, 8, and if you count both sides, 16. Is that right? 2? Yeah. So this is going to just come here. It's a pretty small signature. It's nothing too fancy. These are in the kit printed like this, so they kind of have that grungy look to them, which is fun. And this is coming in here. So what I'm going to do is I am hoping to attach this fairly close to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and just pencil that line in just as a general guide. I'm eyeballing this line, but I can see that's fairly close to the center of that spine. And I'm just lightly penciling that in. It'll pretty much get covered up by the signature. Now, I have my waxed thread. I can link a good kit below that I like that comes with everything that you need to sew it in. So this is my waxed thread. I did it 4 times the length of this. I'm gonna have extra, but I'd rather have extra than be struggling to tie that last knot or be worried that I'm gonna run out. So I go ahead and do 4 times the length of the spine. This is your awl. It is super sharp, and it's what you're going to use to poke holes through the signature as well as that spine. You can do it different ways. You can measure both and then poke the holes. If you have a really thick spine, I like to poke the holes in the spine before I attempt to sew the pages in. But where this isn't super thick, we're going to do it all in one step. These are my alligator clips. They're kind of gonna hold things in place if I feel like they're moving around and I need to use it. Sometimes you can just go for it and not worry about clipping it down. So the goal here is to kind of center this so I have about a 1/4 inch on top and a 1/4 inch on bottom. And I have measured where I'm going to sew. I like to do 5 points of contact, I guess. You can do more or less, but this is an odd number of points of contact here, holes, I guess. So I'm going to show you the method for that. If you're using an even number, it's a different process. So this is for odd number of holes. I went ahead and measured about 1/2 inch down from the top and then 1/2 inch from the bottom. And between each of these is about 1.5 inch. It's close. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does if you're poking your holes in your spine at a different time than you're poking your holes in this. Then you need to worry about being a little more precise. But for this, you don't have to stress it. And I like that. Also, heads up, I should tell you, these pages are designed to print at 5 by 7, but in actuality, they printed at about, let me fold that. So it's a 1/16 of an inch off of 5 and the same off of 7. So it's like 6 and a little more than 3/4. So just a heads up on the page size. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first step we're going to do, I'm going to try this and then I'm going to decide if I need to, well, you know what, I'm going to clip it. I'm going to clip it because I have it lined up. I know where I want that to go. I'm just kind of looking at my pencil line, centering it, and then I'm going to go ahead and clip And you don't have to use all of them if you don't want. It'll just give you some reassurance that you're in the right place. Oh, and I'm gonna use my awl because it's just easier. So I really want to make sure, and if I were doing this not on camera, I would get something like carpet underneath there or something so I can really poke. So I'm just going to poke down through those holes and making certain that I'm in that crease and I'm lined up, and then I'm just going straight in there. I'm going through the spine as well, and don't poke yourself with that awl. And just gently trying not to cause too much distress to the pages or to that spine behind it. I didn't make my dot very good on this one, so I want to make sure I'm in the center of that crease. Okay, and that'll just make it so much easier, because if you were trying to sew this while you were doing that, that'd be really hard. Okay, step one, you're coming down on the inside of the book through that center hole. Leave a good 3-4 inches to tie it off. Now, this is the fun part. I'm coming up through that second hole down. This is how I do it. I'm sure there's other methods and people go all sorts of different ways, but this is how I like to do it. Then down again through the bottom hole. There we go. All right, now I'm kind of keeping it taut, but I'm not really stretching it super tight yet. I'm going to tighten it up a little more later, but I'm not worrying about it now. I'm going to come back up through that second hole down from the center. And I'm going to try not to go through my waxed thread. I don't want to go through this one that's already there. That happens later, but I don't want to do that right now. Okay, so now I'm halfway. I kind of want to tighten, make sure there's not any, maybe a knot or something in the back that's keeping that really loose. So I'm just really gonna come in, tug on everything, not too much because you don't want to tear through your pages, but just firmly tug. Okay, now I'm skipping the center hole. My center, there we go. And I'm coming clear up to this one, second from the top now. And I'm going to repeat that same pattern that I did on the bottom. Coming down through there. Up through that tippy top one. Kind of tugging as I go, but again, gently. Back down through this one. And then we're going to come up through center. And I'm just kind of gently keeping up on that, making it nice and tight, but not overly tight. Okay, and I'm going to come up, but I want to be on the opposite side of that center thread. So you can see how they're both going to end up on this side. So I'm just going to retreat a little bit and bring this over there. So now I'm going to have one tail on one side of that middle thread and one on the other. Okay. You can see I have a ton of extra wax thread. That's okay. I really would rather have way extra. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and firmly make sure everything is tight, but not overly tight. That looks good. Everything looks nice and firm and secure. I'm trying to center that for you a little better. Okay, now we're going to just tie a square knot. So this will be hard to kind of, so I'm going to take this one over that one, pull through, and then let's see if I did that right. Left over, right, pull through. So I just learned it right over, left, pull through, left over, right, pull through. And then I'm going to give that a nice strong tug. I usually leave these in my journal Sometimes I do a trick with an envelope where I hide them and you don't see them, and that's okay too. Just whatever you like, but I like to leave just for security, and it's kind of fun if you want to add a little charm or a bead, or you can cover it with a pocket here and just stick them out so you don't see them. But whatever works, your signature is now secure in your book. So it's that easy and really fun because you feel like, oh, I have this professional book now. It's just kind of cool. So that is your simple tutorial for sewing a signature into a journal. So here's where we are with our folio. I'll just give you the run through now. Here's the front. It opens up. We're going to have our drop down pocket. Can you see that? And then it's going to open. So it's accordion style. And then we have this really fun kind of Victorian wallpaper theme going on here. And I have a lot of fun stuff to put in all of these pages. And then that's the back, but surprise, it opens this way too. So you have this piece, and then this is going to be a fun fold out that I've got some fun plans for this. So that's where we are right now, and I will keep going and we'll see how far we get. We will talk to you later. Bye.